I love techno. And one of Germany's most famous techno festivals is Hive. Located at Ferropolis, the city of iron, you can see this giant bucket wheel excavator towering in the backdrop. Damn, industrial structures and techno are a better combo than tomato and mozzarella. But when you stop dancing and get a bottle of water, you might start thinking about why that thing even stands here. You uncover a completely different story. One about Germany's never-ending hunger for energy. Villages vanished. Some of the most polluting power plants in the country were built. And what's left behind is a landscape that looks like it's from another planet. So no, we are not morally better than places like China. And in my About 2 video, I definitely didn't want to portray the West as superior, but at least there is hope. Many of these moonscapes have been transformed into beautiful lakes and recreation areas, where people swim and birds nest today. So I dug even deeper than these massive excavators. And today I want to take you with me to uncover the truth and consequences of Germany's endless energy appetite. Germany's lignite mining is concentrated in two regions. In the west, just west of Cologne, lies the Rhenish mining district, home to the Garzweiler, Hambach and Inten open pit mines. They are operated by RWE, and together they form the heart of West Germany's power generation for decades. Here also some of the country's largest and dirtiest power plants were built, like Neurath, Niederaußem and Weisweiler. These plants rank among the biggest single CO2 emitters in Europe. Even today, Neurath alone emits tens of millions of tons of CO2 per year, making it a top climate offender on the continent. One of the clearest examples of this transformation and destruction is the little village of Immerath. For centuries, it was a small rural settlement surrounded by farm fields, quiet and peaceful. But back then, no one could have foreseen that it sits on top of one of Europe's richest lignite deposits, formed over millions of years when ancient swamps were slowly buried and compressed. In the 2010s, the Garzweiler 2 mine expanded, and Immerath was flattened and rebuilt at another place. By 2018, even its landmark church was demolished, and on Google Earth today, the village has been replaced by a vast open pit stretching to the horizon. And the same happens on the exact opposite side of the country. Here's another region. It lies in eastern Germany, in Lusatia, in the states of Brandenburg and Saxony, and in central Germany near Leipzig. These mines such as Nochten, Jenschwalde and Welzow Süd were developed heavily during the GDR era. Today they are operated by private companies and feed massive plants like Jenschwalde, once one of the largest lignite power stations in the world. When you zoom in on these mining areas, you start to understand just how extreme the scale of lignite mining really is. Giant bucket wheel excavators, some of the largest machines ever built. And on these aerial images, they look absolutely tiny. They crawl slowly through the landscape, digging up to 240,000 tons of earth per day. The raw material is carried away on an endless network of conveyor belts, sometimes stretching tens of kilometers, directly into nearby power plants. It's a tightly integrated system. Mine, conveyor, power station, all operating around the clock. To keep the pits dry, entire river systems are diverted, and huge amounts of groundwater are pumped away, lowering water tables across the region. Roads, rail lines and even highways are shifted. Entire pieces of the landscape get rearranged like puzzle tiles to make way for the advancing mine. And when a village stands in the way, it moves too. Residents are relocated to newly built settlements, sometimes years in advance, as the excavators inch closer year by year. Of course, not all relocations are smooth. The most recent flashpoint was Lützerath, a little settlement just next to Immerath, cleared in early 2023 after massive protests against the Garzweiler 2 expansion. What's striking is how this isn't a one-time event, but a continuous industrial operation that's been reshaping Western and Eastern Germany for decades. From the air you can literally see the pits eating their way across the map, kilometer by kilometer. When the mining ends, the story of these landscapes isn't over, luckily. Across Germany, enormous efforts are underway to reshape and renature former lignite pits. Over the coming decades, areas that were once dominated by excavators and conveyor belts are being turned into lakes, forests, farmland and recreational zones. This process is massive and slow. It involves flooding entire pits, stabilizing the ground, managing groundwater and often completely redesigning local water systems. What looks like a calm blue lake on the surface can take decades of engineering and monitoring below. For many communities, this transformation offers new opportunities for tourism, leisure, like the Hive festival I mentioned before, or new industries, especially in regions that have depended on coal for generations. But it also comes with huge technical, environmental and financial challenges. These are not quick fixes. They are projects that stretch well beyond the coal phase out, which in the West is planned for 2030 and in the East a little bit later. Germany is essentially trying to reinvent entire landscapes that were shaped by mining for over a century. Whether these places become thriving post-industrial regions or remain fragile, artificial spaces depends on decisions made in the next few years. When you look at these landscapes today, it's easy to forget what they once were. Villages, forests, Autobahn,
Was ist das für ein Kombi?
all reshaped to feed our demand for energy. What's happening here is more than just an industrial story. It's a story about how entire regions were transformed and how we now try to give them a new future. If you enjoyed this little video about Germany's coal mining, consider subscribing, liking or hyping for more videos like this. And if you want to support my work directly, check out my Patreon page. Thanks for watching. If you haven't seen it already, here I cover the massive pollution rare earth processing causes in Inner Mongolia, China. Definitely worth a watch too.